Guys, I've been waiting over a year for this. Auto Addicts finally released their 2024 and up Mustang Euro and smoked taillights. So I'm super excited to show you guys. Here is the box right here. I'm gonna open it up for you guys. I already opened it, obviously. Got it in the mail a few days ago. Christmas Eve, we're throwing these things on. All right, that's just a little glimpse. So this wire right here, I was a little confused at first. This connects to your third brake light. So these connect to both taillights. And then there's an end right here that connects to your third brake light. And that is for if you want amber hazards, because these do have the amber sequential turn signal. And if you want amber hazards, when you throw on your hazards, that's what you use it for. You don't have to add that. I don't think I'm gonna be adding that, but that's what that wire is for. And it comes with your instructions as well, which I'm gonna go through this whole video on how to install. Here are the clear Euro taillights, guys. I'm super excited to throw these on. I've been waiting over a year for these. Super, super awesome. They do have that amber sequential turn signal as well. These are also plug and play, so super simple, guys. But if your car was made after February 2024, you're gonna have to apply for an extra harness because Ford changed the taillight plugs and they didn't upgrade the diagrams, part numbers, or anything like that. So my car was made in 2023. I got one of the first year runs and mine should be good to go. I mean, we'll find out, but if your car was made after February 2024, you're gonna have to apply for a different plug, but that is no worries. They're gonna send that out to you for free, especially if you already ordered them. You do have to remove the rear bumper, which kind of sucks because on the S550s, you just had to pull out 3 bolts out of the rear trunk and the lights came out, but the S650s, you gotta do that and remove the rear bumper. But don't be discouraged. Don't let that discourage you because it should be pretty straightforward. Hydro's a professional. That's why I'm showing you guys how to do this. It should be pretty easy. It's just a bunch of clips and like a few 7mm bolts, but I'm going to show you guys a step-by-step detail video, which you're watching right now, on how to do it. So enough yapping. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. It should be pretty easy. Alrighty, let's get into the install here. So there are a few 7mm bolts. There's one right there. There's one deep in that well right here. And then there's this one right, very hard to see. And then that is a 7mm bolt right there, that white thing, that's just kind of a clip to hold it together, but there's a 7mm bolt underneath that. So remove those on both sides. There's also a Christmas tree clip right here. Really hard to see because I got a lot of rubber right there. Now you want to come underneath the car. I have this carbon fiber diffuser thing from EOS, Extreme Online Store, but it's same thing, just these 7mm bolts all across the belly pan and the diffuser, including this one right here too. So just remove all those, and I think these as well, and then you'll pretty much be able to pry the clips off. Once you remove all the bolts, 7mm bolts underneath the car, you're gonna come underneath the car once again. So on both sides there are 2 push pins, so a total of 4. You're just gonna grab your push pin tool, come underneath the car, and don't mind the rubber, but there are 2 right here. So 1, 2, and then same on the other side. And then after you get those out, you should be ready to start breaking some clips. So once you got all those bolts out that we previously went over, I have this little rock guard here. So you probably won't have this unless you got a dark horse. Just kind of push that out of the way. So now you can kind of pry this out. So supposedly you're supposed to push down, or try to push down and out at the same time. So Ford quality right there, the paint's, that was already like that before I even tried doing this. Paint issues, whatever, Ford crap. We're gonna try prying this out, so I need 2 hands for this. We'll see how easy it is, and then I'll get back to you. It's 12:12 right now. Let's see how long this takes. All right, it's 12:13. 30 seconds. Push down and pop out. It'll pop out very easily. I'm actually gonna retouch this up because that's how first gen 2024s had little paint issues on the corners, especially the front bumper and the rear bumper too, I guess. So now you just kind of pry back the whole bumper very gently. I'm gonna go do the other side and do this clip. Super, super easy to pop these out. Doesn't take much force, but right here there's gonna be a little issue. There is a patch of 3M double-sided tape right there, so we're gonna have to kind of maneuver that with our hands. But I'm gonna show you guys on the other side how easy it is to actually pop these clips out. They're pretty good clips, so they're not gonna like break. So super easy. And then once you kind of get the second one and just kind of get your fingers, hold on. It's pretty easy, guys. Alrighty, easier with 2 hands because you pop one here and then you kind of push, you pull it out a little bit and then you just stick your fingers in here and then the other one will pop out and one I think just pop back in on the other side. But right here there is some 3M double-sided tape, unfortunately. So I think I'm gonna get a heat gun. I'm gonna kind of heat it up a little bit and I'm gonna kind of pull it out. I got this side off pretty easy. This clip came out and the tape came off already. I just put some tape here so I don't scratch the paint up. This side I'm having a little bit trouble with. This clip won't pop out, and then the tape is still on there. That side, the tape wasn't on there that good. This side, the tape's on there, and this clip hasn't came out yet. So, like I said, I put some tape here just so I don't scratch up the paint with my hands. I'm using some gloves, that helps. So we just gotta keep prying and working at it very gently. After using the heat gun and heating it up for about a minute, we finally got it to pry off. There's the 3M tape right there. Now we have these exact type of clips right along this whole edge right here. So this is what I would do instead of shoving your screwdriver in there and ruining your paint and your bumper. Take this part that you already clipped out, or come over, try like getting your hand in here and try pulling it until there's like a little gap right there, right? You see the little gap right here, and then on this side, there's nothing. So if you can get a little gap, I'm gonna pull it out a little bit more. Get your fingers in there. Wear a glove, it'd be easier because it's kind of sharp. Pull on it a little bit. Alrighty, so I had a little issue with this. Not really an issue, but it was really hard to get my hands in there because it would just pinch because it would go back in there. So what I did is I kind of just put my hand here and I kind of just yanked it out, and those clips will pop out. I didn't use a screwdriver or anything, but as you see, there's this black line right here that this part goes in underneath this black little line, this little trim thing. So that's what I did. I put my hand in here and I kind of yeeted it out a little bit. I just kind of a little bit, and the clips ended up coming out. So now you should be pretty ready. Should just be able to pull off the bumper. Probably easier if you get 4 hands to do this. So I'm gonna go get somebody help me out, and we're gonna take this off. The bumper is not coming off, and I figured out that it is probably because of these 2 screws in here. Maybe this is because I have an early model Mustang. But as you can see, this is connected to the body of the car. So we need to remove these 2 bolts, 7mm, because it is connected to the body of the car. So we're gonna remove these 2 and see if that helps take it off. Okay, so yes, make sure you remove those 2 bolts that connect to this bracket right here on both sides. So a total of 4 7mm, 2 on each side, and then the bumper's literally hanging now. So I moved the bumper out of the way because we're gonna have to be in the trunk, and we're gonna have to remove this plastic piece, and then we're gonna have to pull some of the fabric fender liner inside the trunk out and away. So that's why I took the bumper and got it out there. But when you remove the bumper, there's this one big clip right here you just remove, pretty easy. So what we're gonna do now is, you see these things right here, we're going to just twist them all off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. 4 of those, just twist these off. Super, super simple. And then you should be able to pop this out. Probably will be easier if you remove this as well. Super easy to remove this, just kind of yank on it and it should come off. Once you get the corners off, just pry up. And there you go. By the looks of it, we're gonna have to remove the subwoofer, which hopefully is easy. I've actually never done that. There are 2 bolts right here. I think they're 10 mils, so super easy to get to, right? There's one all the way, you can't see it, but there's one, I can even barely see it. There's one all the way in the back corner. Going to have to remove the subwoofer, unfortunately. But over here, here's 2. We're gonna remove this push pin, and you should be able to peel it back. And it's looking like if you have the 401A, you're gonna have to also remove the amplifier. So to remove these, we do have to remove that amplifier. Like I said, here are the 2 10mm bolts right there. Pull this back. There is a 3rd one, but behind the amplifier is the wiring harness. So that's why you need to remove it. Alrighty, so we got the amplifier out. There is a 10mm up at the top. There is an 8mm in the bottom right corner right here. And then there's another 10 down here. Right there, there's another 10, 8, and then a 10 at the top where I'm holding it. And then there's a bracket that holds that 10mm nut in place, which fell, which I think this is it right here. That just goes kind of back in this hole right there. So here is the taillight wiring harness with the grommet. Follow that. And then there is the connection right there. Just pop it off. So once you remove the wiring harness, you're going to come over here, and we are going to now remove these 3 bolts that hold this bracket in place, because that is also holding the headlight. Of course, Ford's got to make it like that. Okay, I lied. So once you remove those 3 bolts, they're all 7mm. There's this little clip right here that's holding this bracket up. So we're going to kind of have to figure out how to remove that, or lift this up enough just for it to slide out so then we can pull it off. What I'd recommend you do is you take your pry tool, shove it in here, and just pry at it. It will make a loud pop noise, and it will eventually come off just like that, because there is a clip that goes into there, which it is right there. I don't think we broke it. If we did, don't matter, because there's 3 bolts holding it in. The headlight should come free. After you remove that rubber grommet that is in the inside right here, there's the rubber grommet, so make sure you push that through the other hole and that tail light will come out. And just like that, we got it off. There's what it looks like, and that thing's just dangling there. We're going to transfer this top over to the new tail light, and I'll show you guys how to put that one in. To transfer this over, it's just 3 clips, just kind of yank up on top, and then you can apply it to the brand new one. Now we're just gonna feed the wire through the hole right there, and we're gonna put it into place. Super satisfying. It's not even in yet, so I'm gonna put this in all the way so it doesn't fall out and smash on the ground, but make sure you seat that rubber grommet in. Make sure it is seated in there really nicely so no water gets in your car. Alrighty, so I'm testing it out, make sure it works. It's all good. Here's the original one. And then this one's a little more pink just because it doesn't have red lenses, but I think it looks really, really cool. So now we're going to reinstall this amp, pretty much just vice versa, but I'm gonna show you guys how to do this side with the sub because we got a big fat sub in the way of the 3rd bolt and the plug. So we're gonna have to remove that sub. So now we're gonna remove the amp. First, we're gonna remove this clip up here. And then these are 3 13mm bolts, and we're gonna remove those, and then we're gonna see if the amp comes out, which I think it should, unless this is a bracket down here, which are also 13mm bolts. But first we're gonna remove these 3 and this push pin clip, and we will see. Well, we got the subwoofer out. It was super easy. This thing is massive, and I'm sure we could fit an even bigger speaker in there, but let's not think of more things to buy right now. Those 3 13mm bolts are the only things you need to remove. Those things were not torqued down whatsoever. It's almost like I could have spun them with my fingers. My car must have been built on a Friday at 5 o'clock, so they were not even that tight. I'll be sure to tighten them down. But now, once you got that all sorted out, we got some good news. We don't have to remove the subwoofer bracket. I already unplugged the plug right there for the taillights. The plug is actually right there. So you can access it from behind right there, super easy. And now let's just remove these 2 bolts, 3rd bolt, and these 3 bolts down here and get that grommet out, and we'll be able to put the new light in. Simple as that. It is finally complete. Just put the whole bumper together. I'll show you the modes. I'm gonna bring the car outside, but it's definitely, the lights are definitely a little bit pink, which I don't mind at all. They look really, really good. Like I said, I'll bring it outside, show you the guys the sequential turn signals, and I'll drive it around the block so you guys can see what it looks like. I think it's still daytime out, but this job took about 2 hours maybe. Pretty simple install. Here is the amber turn signals, and then if you did connect the 2 lights with that pink wire and connect it to your 3rd brake light, you get the sequential hazards too in amber. So they're kind of flashing on camera just because of the camera, but they're not flashing in real life, but they look really, really good. Like I said, they look kind of pink. There's no orange in there right now. I don't know why it's showing the orange, just the camera, but they look really good. Honestly, I forgot to tell you guys how the install was, so now I'm going to tell you guys because I know a lot of people are scared saying, oh, I don't want to take off the bumper. Guys, it's really super easy. You don't have to pry with a screwdriver at any clips. Literally, as soon as you put your hand in, especially on the side, just put your hand in there and they'll pretty much just come right out. I was never yanking on it to pull it out. The only time I was kind of giving a little more force was on the back because of the 3M tape. And people were saying on the forums, oh, the bumper doesn't sit right, guys, after I removed the 3M. Guys, add the 3M back and you will be fine. The bumper fitment is better than it was from Ford. And plus I touched some stuff up with the paint because like I said, the Ford had an issue with the corners of the bumpers, front and rear, that the paint was chipping. So I fixed that. Looks great. I re-added the 3M tape. Not on the same spot because I didn't feel like picking off the bumper. I did it next to it. Perfectly fine, guys. The bumper alignment it's mint. I'm going to show you guys in a second after I'm done yapping here. But super easy. If you have the premium 4018 package with the B&O audio, you have a few extra steps. You have to remove the subwoofer and remove the amplifier on both sides. But other than that, subwoofers, 3 bolts, amplifiers, 3 bolts. Super easy, guys. It's not that difficult. Highly would recommend to do this if you are looking to do it. Don't be scared to do it, guys. I promise you it's not that hard. And the bumper, I'm gonna show you guys right now how it looks. You can't even tell I took it off. All right, well, here's the bumper. There is nothing protruding or popping out. All the clips snapped right in so perfectly, guys. Nothing is protruding out. It literally is mint. It looks great. I'll show you guys the other side as well here. Again, absolutely nothing. Here's the edges. Edges over there. Nothing's protruding out. All the clips snapped into place. Show you guys under here where there were other clips. This whole thing was covered in clips too. Snapped all right in perfectly. And these lights look great. I want to kind of PPF the top here just because black scratch is super easy, but that's besides what we're talking about. But guys, totally would recommend installing these Auto Addict rear taillights. Plug and play. If your car was made in February 2024 and up, you will require an additional little harness just to match with the plugs. But if you were from 2023 to up to February 2024, you should be good. It should be plug and play, and you don't need to add any extra harnesses like I did. I would highly recommend you grab a set of these Euro taillights, smoked or clear. Both are great options from Auto Addict. The link is down below. No issues with installing them. It's just take your time, have some patience. I promise you it's not that hard of an install. Don't be stressed out about taking off the bumper. I promise you it will go back on the way it came off as long as you do it correctly. As long as you follow my video. If you followed my video step by step, you should be good to go. So let me know if you guys have any questions about these. Feel free to ask. Feel free to DM me or on Instagram or drop a comment below. The links for these lights will be in the description. Let me know what you guys think of the Euros. Thanks for watching. Drive safe.